Okay, we got some things to talk about. Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be doing a review of the new MAC Holiday Collection. This is called the Hypnotizing Holiday Collection of 2021 from MAC Cosmetics, and I have a few of the products here in front of me that I'm going to be testing, reviewing whether the products I'm reviewing are worth the purchase. So yeah, if you're interested in this collection, then keep on watching. So this collection is quite a large one. I don't know if it's maybe making up for lost time kind of thing, because I found since COVID, MAC has definitely not released launches like they used to, and I found their collections were a little bit less impressive since COVID, I've found. So this one I was really excited to see. It's very large and it looks really exciting. It comes with these Hyper Real Glow Duo. They are highlighting compacts. They have some lip glosses in 5 different shades, some lipsticks in 5 different shades. It also comes with some kits. There's the Fix Plus kit. There's a glitter kit, lipstick vault. I won't go through them all, but there's a bunch of different kits, lip kits, brush kits, the whole shebang. They went all out. They also have 3 mini eyeshadow palettes, one in a cool tone, one in a warm tone, and one they call a rich tone, which is honestly just more purples, like plummy. And then they have the highlighting palette like they had last year, but obviously in different shades. So there's a medium to deep. And then there is a light. Did not get any of that because I purchased this stuff on my own. It's not like I'm receiving all of this stuff in PR or blah, blah, blah. So I obviously could not afford the whole entire collection. And so I just kind of chose the products that I felt I personally was interested in, thought were worth the purchase, just based off of looking at them online. And also I did keep in mind of what maybe you guys would want to see. I did get the larger eyeshadow palette, one of the Shadeshifter Duochrome Eyeshadows, and then one of the Powerpoint Eyeliners. So we're going to be talking about those specifically today. This is the actual packaging of this year's collection. It is kind of like a holiday, like optical illusion, like hypnotizing holiday collection. Okay, Caitlin. And the actual palette is very similar, but it's actually a like spinny plastic piece. And it's really cool because it kind of goes all along with like the hypnotizing theme. It really ties in. I do actually have last year's palette here as well, and I am going to kind of compare it in case you were interested, maybe wondering if you need both. This was last year's palette. As you can see, I was a little bit disappointed when I opened it, to be honest, because all of the shades are very tiny. Now I know that this palette got a lot of flack for a lot of the shades being smaller, and all of the shades in the new one are very tiny. But at the same time, I personally would rather more color selection than larger pans. So if it meant that you'd get less shades, then I'm kind of happy that it came with the smaller ones, if that makes sense. Like I'd rather have more option. I already have a lot of eyeshadow, so I don't need massive pans that will never get finished. You can see lots of nice purples, the dark rich, and then there's some brighter. You have blue, again navy, but some pops of bright. You have green, there's pink up here, and then there's like the everyday kind of neutral. So I honestly am really loving how much this palette comes with. Let's quickly compare to last year's. So last year's had a little more red. I felt like last year's was like warm versus cool, whereas this is kind of just like playing more with color. So when you actually look at the two side by side, there are some similarities. You can see that there are both purple, both blue, both some gold and some brown, both have some pink. The only thing that's different is this palette from last year has some reds, and this palette has some greens. That being said, it doesn't look like any of the shades are identical. So if you do get both, I don't think you will have duplicate shades. So that is good to see. So the next product that I got is one of the Shadeshifter Duochrome Eyeshadows, and I'm really excited about this one. So it is a bold shade shifting eyeshadow that delivers kaleidoscopic magical color with glamorous multi-pearlescent pigments. So that is basically the description of a duochrome. It's going to shift in different lights. So the one that I got is actually the green. This one really stood out to me. For some reason, the other options are more of a red, kind of pink. There's a more purple, like a golden champagne, and then a blue. This one looked absolutely stunning, and I felt like the palette did not have very much bright bam kind of metallics when it came to the green. Like you can see this more deep metallic here. I felt like this would pair really well. For me, this definitely fit in for what I was looking for. So super pumped about that. I will also have swatches of the entire collection, or at least what I got from the collection at the end of the video too. And then the last thing I got was one of the Powerpoint eye pencils. So this is the shade Snow Way. Let's just take a moment for this packaging. This is so cute. This is like a product I would hold on to just because it looks cute. This is like something you keep because it's like limited edition and it's like special. So this is the shade Snow Way, which is like a white with a pearl. So we're gonna go ahead and see how that goes as well today. I think what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and create 2 different looks and also just give a final opinion on the collection. Okay. We got some things to talk about. So, I've got many comments, a few concerns. So, doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that this is not my best work. Definitely not super happy with this whole blue failed moment over here. We will get to that, but I just wanted to point that out, that I know this does not look that great. I know. But let's talk about the green first. So I obviously wanted to do a green look considering I got the green duochrome. So I did first go in with this dark green, pigmented. It ended up blending out really well with the assistance of some of these like soft browns. Even the metallics in the palette that I used, really, really beautiful. But let me tell you, these are A plus. They are like Pat McGrath level, Natasha Denona level duochrome metallics. Pigmented, creamy, super finely milled, beautiful duochrome effect. Like it looks like metal. It is so like shiny and it has like a really stunning flip to it. Really impressed with this. Impressed with everything that I used for this look. The white eyeliner, I don't hate it, but it's also not like the best thing I've ever seen. When I first looked at this, thought it was like just a matte white. I would have preferred that. I still liked the idea that it had a frost to it because I thought it would be really pretty in the waterline. Now, if you apply just like a couple like swipes, it's very, very natural, kind of sheer. I did only apply a couple little swipes on this side and you don't really see it all that much. So to be honest with you, I'm not overly impressed with this, but the difference between this one and the one that I tried from their fall collection, which was one that I really think was not worth the purchase. It was in the shade Better Than Beige. That one, like, it doesn't matter how many times I went over it, it would not show up at all. This one does show up. It's just really sheer, and I would have liked to see a little more pigmentation. But the nice thing is it is buildable. Like, I went in quite heavily. Like, I was like, rubbing it right on the eye. And it did end up building, as you can see. So it is not horrible by any means. I do like it. I do feel like if you build it, you can get it to a point where you definitely notice it. Like I can see it in my waterline for sure. I feel like if you kind of rub it on, not just on the waterline, but on the edge where there's like your skin and your lashes, it kind of shows up better there. That's where it really picks up. So I would say it's not the best eyeliner I've ever used, but it is definitely exactly what it says it is. It is a white eyeliner with a subtle pearl. I would say if you're looking for something like this, I would recommend it. But if you're just kind of maybe interested, it's maybe not the best eyeliner I've ever tested in the whole entire world. Do you know what I mean? Like it's good. It's just not like something I would like scream from the rooftops, this is the best. But it works and the packaging is just to die for. Basically everything on the green side went really well. I am obsessed. I love this look so much and I'm really, really impressed with how it turned out. It's definitely perfect for the holidays. Now, when we go over to this whole purple blue moment. So originally I wanted to do kind of like a purple that transitioned into blue kind of halo eye, like something really fun, playful that you wouldn't necessarily put on to go to the grocery store or to work, but it would be something you'd kind of just do to play around. Or if you're like me, I would probably, if it had turned out nicer than this, I would have worn it out. I thought it would be cute, but I started with this purple and it was kind of one of those shades where you're applying it and you're applying it and you're applying it and it's just not building, would not blend out without losing all of its pigmentation. It got really muddy, really faded. So that shade specifically right here was not impressive. And I thought, okay, well, whatever, that's fine. It's one shade, right? It's just one shade. Let's go in with this purple. The same thing happened. The exact same thing happened. Now I know, and I've read that purples and like reds and the bright kind of shades can be difficult to have, you know, true pigmentation that lasts while you're blending. As you could see when I showed you up close, it definitely lost its richness. Like it was not staying pigmented and true to color. So I thought, okay, well, whatever, let's move on to the blues. I did go in with this blue here, which was a little bit better. It was a little more pigmented and stayed a little bit truer to color. I was a little thrown off when things were not blending in right. So it is a little messier than I would have liked it to be. But I tried to kind of fix it up. I did end up having to wipe it up with a wipe. And there was a lot of fallout, honestly, on both sides. So I would say that either like apply some powder underneath so that you can ensure it will wipe away, or do your eyes first. Even though it was a little bit better, I will say, even on this side, like I'm looking, and it definitely doesn't look as rich as this green, and it's such a dark shade. So I'm honestly not super impressed with any of the mattes that I used on this side. They didn't just like work as well as I would expect from MAC. So that was really disappointing. I did go in with a couple of the metallics. Honestly, those were beautiful. So now I'm kind of at a crossroads here because this is just so stunning, and all of the browns and the soft kind of transition shades I used were very beautiful, blendable. Like, I definitely was able to soften these edges up and create a somewhat half decent wearable, like I might not delete this video type look. Like, if it had have gotten any worse, I probably would have re-recorded this video because I'm embarrassed. But it's the true, authentic, like I want to show you the authentic reviews, the authentic first impressions, and I don't ever want to, like, you know, not show you the truth. So we're here and you guys can see the messy, and that's okay. I want to recommend this palette because this look is just so stunning, but realistically, I don't recommend this palette because if a third of the mattes from this palette are like to the point where I'm like, ugh, then I really realistically don't think you should waste your money. It's different if it was like maybe one shade. I'd be like, okay, like, you know, it's one shade, it's disappointing, but like whatever, right? Unfortunately, I don't recommend this palette, and it's so sad because there's some beautiful shades. The only thing I would say, if you hear this review and think, you know, the greens are really nice, the browns are really nice, I'd probably not use the purples and the blues that often anyways. If you are okay with that, the ones that I did use on the green side, you know, the metallics that I've swatched, like this one right here, a really beautiful kind of duochrome shade. Like, there are some beautiful shades in here and some beautiful like duochromes. I think, do you see this one right here? Again, I will have swatches of the entire palette so you can see all of the shades up close, and then I think, you know, it's kind of to each their own. If you feel like you're not going to use the purples and the blues anyways that often, then maybe it would be worth it to you. To me, it's like if you're going to spend $100 on a palette, it better be good. You know what I mean? Like, they're all so small, and then like a third of the mattes were not impressive to me. I don't know, guys. Also have other palettes that are just through and through every shade to die for. So personally, I don't recommend this palette. Unfortunately, I don't think it's the best from MAC. And unfortunately, I've been seeing that a little bit more frequently, which it's not that I'm writing MAC off by any means. There's so many incredible products like the duochrome. Like, this is next level, guys. This is stunning. Like, I would bathe in this shade. So I just thought I would come on here and say that I did try out the eyeshadow palette again, as I did kind of want to see if it was more of a me thing or if it was the eyeshadow. Obviously, this look is much better than the one that you guys just saw me create. That was like a hardcore fail. Not every look can turn out perfectly, but even though this one looks a lot better, I did still experience a lot of the same issues. The faded, muddy, non-pigmented with the purples and the blues. The Dazzle shadows are really pretty, but I do recommend wetting them because when you apply them, even with your finger and especially with a brush, they're not very pigmented and light reflective. When you do wet them, they are really, really pretty though. And then with the mattes, I mean, I did create a pretty look, but I just feel like it was so much extra work and it still didn't come out as smooth and blended as I would like it to. It's a little patchy, and like I really took my time. I did my eyes first so I didn't worry about fallout, and was able to clean up the lines, and it still isn't as good as some of the other eyeshadow in my collection. So unfortunately, it's not the best palette, but with a few tips, you know, wetting the metallics, and also making sure you're kind of placing the shadow and blending minimally. Like once it's there, you kind of want to leave it as much as you can. You know, if you decide to get this palette, I think you can create some really pretty looks, but for the cost, I just don't think it's worth it because there's better out there, if that makes sense. So I just thought I would let you guys know. I further played with it and was able to come up with a better look using the purples and the blues, but still not what I would expect from MAC, unfortunately. That's the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed and found this video helpful. Hopefully it's helpful. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I also, by the way, did a poll on my YouTube community page. And I also did it on Instagram too, asking if you wanted to see this collection or the Pat McGrath collection. And I did see a few more MAC votes between the two, not that many. So for those of you that did vote for the Pat McGrath collection, it is coming on Thursday. So stay tuned for Thursday to see the Pat McGrath holiday collection, the Odyssey collection review. I have the palette and the cheek palette. So I'm really, really excited to test that out. Hopefully it goes a little better than today. But yeah, for now, I will see you guys later. And stay tuned for swatches.